A Washington County woman is in jail accused of trying to hide drugs on her teenager.
The state's Republicans are preparing for tomorrow's caucus. Coming up, we'll show you how it's going.
And we'll show you how the presidential candidates are preparing for another round of primaries and caucuses tomorrow.
This is WKYT News at 5.
Good afternoon to you. A mother is in jail accused of trying to use her teenage son to hide her drugs. Police arrested 37-year-old Tanya Davis during a traffic stop last night in Boyle County. As WKYT's Phil Pendleton shows us, police say while Davis thought she could outsmart the deputy, but she couldn't outsmart his canine. It's our top story at 5.
Police say the 37-year-old Tanya Davis was driving near the Super 8 motel behind me when a deputy noticed something suspicious about the way she was driving. He pulled her over, and police say they found a lot more in that car than simply traffic offenses.
Deployed the K9 Nikki. She made an interior sniff of the vehicle. The vehicle was hit upon, which showed that there were narcotics in it.
Sheriff Marty Elliott says the deputy found pills, marijuana, measuring scales, and baggies of crystal meth. Davis was driving, and police say her 15-year-old son was with her.
Forced him to put the crystal methamphetamine on him. I think it was like 2.5 grams of crystal meth.
Elliott says Davis was on probation for drug dealing in another county. She's in the Boyle County Jail now, where she's being held on numerous drug trafficking, wanton endangerment, and endangering the welfare of a minor charges.
When you travel from another county to this county with your juvenile son with the intent to traffic in narcotics, you've really put that child in danger.
That 15-year-old is now with other relatives. We're told social services placed that child with those relatives. We did try to get a hold of Davis at the Boyle County Jail to see if she wanted to defend herself or to tell us her side of the story, but she declined. In Boyle County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
Police say Davis is from Washington County, and they believe she only came to Danville to sell drugs. Tomorrow, Kentucky Republicans get their say in the 2016 race for president. The party will hold its first ever caucus. Volunteers say they're trained and ready to make sure all goes smoothly. WKYT's Victor Puente shows us the final preparations.
Tomorrow, Republicans across the state will cast their votes for the party's nominee for president. The volunteers in charge say they're excited to see Kentucky matter in the presidential race. Tomorrow's caucus will be a first for the state's Republicans.
It's a big change, and a lot of people are excited about it.
Rand Paul helped initiate the change so he could run for president and Senate. He's ended his presidential campaign, but many Republicans believe the change has still been a positive one.
Kentucky now can be a player in selecting the next president of the United States, or at least who's going to represent the Republican Party, and that's never been before. Really, because we're always 2 months later, and it's really pretty much decided.
Fran Anderson will be helping to run the polling location at Ashland Avenue Baptist in Lexington. He says the training they've received should help the process flow smoothly. Tom Hearn will be in charge of the caucus spot at Northeast Christian Church in Lexington. He says they'll put up signs letting people know who's still actually in the race.
Anybody that was on the ballot as of February the 1st will be on the ballot.
111 of Kentucky's 120 counties will have caucus locations. Most will only have one. Both men say they won't know for sure if the change is a positive one until the day is done. But so far, they're hopeful.
I would hope probably that it can be that it would continue. It's been a lot of fun. It's been interesting.
I'd like to be relevant, and I don't know if the end of May voting is going to be relevant in the primary.
This is the first caucus in Kentucky since 1984, when the state's Democrats held a presidential caucus. In Lexington, Victor Puente, WKYT.
Now, for many voters, you will not go to your regular polling place to caucus. We have a link to help you find the right spot on WKYT.com. As Kentucky holds its caucus, many GOP candidates will be focusing on upcoming races in other states. However, Donald Trump has changed his schedule in order to visit other states voting tomorrow. As Greg Boswell shows us, his opponents didn't take long to criticize the decision.
Donald Trump announced he is skipping the CPAC convention, a major gathering of conservative voters. His opponents immediately pounced.
He really doesn't belong at a conservative gathering. Donald Trump is not a conservative.
Donald Trump started galloping to the center before the primary is over.
Trump mocked claims he's not conservative enough.
You hear these stupid people that think they're very conservative. Oh, we are conservative. Donald Trump is not a conservative.
CPAC voters we spoke with say they're disappointed they won't hear for themselves.
But at the same time, I kind of understand why he's not coming. He's got important primaries coming up in Florida and Ohio, and that's something that he really wants to focus on.
The bickering between the three leading candidates comes as no surprise, especially after Thursday night's very contentious debate.
Gentlemen, you ought to show up.
Gentlemen, you got to do better than those.
Trump went toe-to-toe with Senators Marco Rubio and Ted Cruz for 2 hours. At the end, many voters were turned off. Republican pollster Frank Luntz tweeted out a few comments from a focus group.
Thank you.
One man who was not on stage was Dr. Ben Carson. The neurosurgeon is expected to officially pull out of the race during his CPAC speech. Craig Boswell, CBS News, Oxon Hill, Maryland.
Politico is reporting that the neurosurgeon will head up a nonpartisan group aimed at getting Christian voters to the polls. A Lexington murder suspect went before a judge this morning. The defense and prosecution went over motions to prepare for Parrish Charles' upcoming trial. Police say he killed his girlfriend at his home on Chatsworth Drive last year. Parts of Goldia Massey's body later washed up along the Kentucky River in Jessamine and Henry counties. Charles will be back in court later this month. His trial is set for August. A couple accused of abusing their foster child ended their trial early by taking a plea deal. Our county-by-county coverage begins in Fleming County. Natasha and Vernon Slaybach entered an Alford plea to criminal abuse on Wednesday, 2 days into the trial. They were on trial for assault. The Ledger Independent reports the pair will be sentenced on April 15th. In Clark County, a school bus crash sent the bus driver to the hospital. The Winchester Sun posted this picture of the crash on Kentucky 89. According to the paper, one of the wheels dropped off the side of the road, causing the bus to spin, go off the other side of the road, overturn, and hit a tree. There were no students on board, and the driver didn't have any serious injuries. We have a big improvement in our weather over the coming days. By Monday, it's going to feel more like spring, and it is the time of year where storms can be more common. WKYT's Chris Bailey's live for us at the Kroger on Richmond Road with more on the forecast and how you can protect yourself from severe weather. Chris?
Yeah, that's exactly right. We are out here with Midland Weather Radios, and we're giving a discount price on those. My man over here, meteorologist Jim Caldwell, programming those Midland Weather Radios for folks. Tell us what programming a radio means.
It means that I have to work very hard.
Which is a first.
It's true. I can do it in my sleep. But what it means for you is we can get specific areas. So let's say you're somebody in eastern Kentucky and you're not exactly, not that you're not worried about, but you don't need to be warned about a storm in Scott County.
Right.
Well, we can set it up specifically to go off for you so that you know when a storm is starting to roll into your area.
And you've been setting a lot of them up so far, haven't you?
Yeah, and a lot of these people want several counties in them, but that's a good decision to make, especially when you're talking severe weather. You get a county to the west that gives you what's coming in, because most of the time, that's where you're going to get your storm from.
Yeah, exactly right. And again, we've got a good deal on these weather radios, and they will alert you when you're in your sleep any time of the day when severe weather watches or warnings are issued. So
you sound like a Midland pitch man. I love it.
You know what? We're partners with them. We got to pitch them. That's exactly right. But they can be a lifesaver. We've got folks here as well from the Lexington Fayette Emergency Management. Sky Warren here as well. You can come and talk to a lot of folks here about severe weather. Speaking of the weather, let's see how things are shaping up as we roll our way into our Friday evening, officially after 5 o'clock now, with the conditions that are looking good across the region. 40 degrees Lexington, mostly cloudy skies, though I see a peak of sun showing up on that live sky cam. That is certainly welcome news. Things get a whole lot better as we roll our way into the weekend. We'll talk about that and a springtime forecast in the 7-day outlook. That is a little later on.
Chris, thanks so much. That springtime weather sounds good. We appreciate it. Well, the Wildcats play their final game of the season in Rupp Arena tomorrow. They'll be saying goodbye to one of their seniors. WKYT's Rob Bromley's here now with more in our Big Blue coverage. Hi, Rob.
Hello, Amber, and the fans will say farewell to Alex. Alex Poitras tomorrow afternoon, and Kentucky will hope to close out the regular season with a victory over LSU. Alex said today it's been a long ride, but it's also gone by fast. Yesterday, he was named a second-team academic All-American, and for that, he thanked his parents.
I think it's meant more to my parents, you know, how hard they pushed me growing up to make sure I stayed on top of school, stayed on top of my studies. So, I mean, it's probably a more prouder moment for them, and it speaks volumes on how great the parents they are.
You know, I think he's going to be one of those guys they remember fondly. A lot of it because they've seen him more than any of the other guys. It's kind of like a Darius Miller. They loved Darius. Part of it was Kentucky, but he was here.
All right, Kentucky and LSU tomorrow at 2 o'clock. You will see it right here on WKYT. Amber, Kentucky opened a 13-point favorite over the Tigers tomorrow. Wait till you hear what Cal had to say today about Scal and what he had to say about Derek Willis. I'll have that coming up a little bit later in sports.
All right, looking forward to it, Rob. Thank you. The Tigers beat the Cats in Baton Rouge back in early January, 85-67. Decades later, it remains an open case. Now, there might be a new clue in the 1994 stabbing deaths of O.J. Simpson's ex-wife and another man. Los Angeles police say they recently received a knife found on Simpson's estate years ago. The construction worker who found it gave it to a police officer who held on to it until investigators recently learned he had it. A jury acquitted Simpson in the murders of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman. A murder weapon has never been found.
Double jeopardy would be in place here. So we could not charge Mr. Simpson with the homicides that he's already been charged with because he's been acquitted.
A jury found Simpson civilly liable for the murder in 1997. He is serving a prison sentence in Nevada on a kidnapping and robbery conviction. Deputies have charged 2 more students in a school shooting. Deputies say 14-year-old James Austin Hancock showed a gun to 2 boys before opening fire on his classmates. The shooting injured 4 students at Madison Junior-Senior High School north of Cincinnati Monday. Deputies say the boys didn't tell anyone about the gun. They've now been charged with failing to report a crime. There's more evidence the Zika virus can cause a serious birth defect. It's been linked to microcephaly, which affects a baby's brain development. A lab study found Zika can infect embryonic cells that help form the brain. Zika is passed by mosquitoes. It's been spreading in Latin America and the Caribbean. It is time now for Better Living, health, education, and consumer news that impacts your life. It's an allergy that can be life-threatening. Now a new study has found exposure to peanuts might be the way to prevent a child from becoming allergic to them. Jonathan Vigalotti shows us the findings.
8-year-old Andreas Angelopoulos can eat anything he likes. But as a baby, a skin condition put him at high risk of developing a peanut allergy.
Knowing that with eczema, he might have lots of allergies, yeah, we were worried.
So when Andreas was just a newborn, he took part in a landmark study in London with about 600 other children.
I had to eat these different things with peanuts.
Andreas ate a peanut mixture several times a week for the first 5 years of his life. Findings published last year showed introducing peanuts to infants at high risk for allergies protected them from a peanut allergy in up to 80% of cases. But researchers wanted to know if children would need to keep eating peanuts to get the same results.
We took all these children and we asked them to completely stop eating peanut for a 12-month period.
It was a good break for you, wasn't it? You liked that one.
Doctors found children who avoided peanuts for the year were still protected.
Early consumption of peanuts gives you long-lasting protection against peanut allergy.
Now that Andreas can make his own choices, there's really only one thing he craves.
Pizza.
Jonathan Vigliotti, CBS News, London.
Peanut allergies have increased in the U.S. and the United Kingdom in recent decades. It's an allergy that is rarely outgrown and cannot be cured. We've had some extreme cold spells this winter, but was it enough to prevent an early start to allergy season? Tree pollen typically triggers hay fever. It usually starts flaring in late winter and early spring. A mild winter can cause plants to pollinate early, triggering an even earlier allergy season.
I think our spring allergies may be a little tough this year just because of our seasons and how quirky our weather has been this past year.
The best ways to combat allergies include avoiding allergens, over-the-counter medications, and immunotherapy shots or tablets.